So, does Canada actually need a new port? Let's take a closer look at what this might mean for the country, especially when it comes to government planning and national interests. The most cost-effective plan to build a road from northwestern Ontario to Hudson Bay is, honestly, a staged, modular approach that combines winter and seasonal roads, selective all-weather upgrades, and use of existing corridors, all while minimizing construction in the most sensitive Hudson Bay lowlands. Terrain challenges are pretty significant here. The Hudson Bay lowlands are dominated by peatlands, muskeg, and wetlands. Building permanent roads in this area is, well, extremely expensive and environmentally sensitive. When it comes to cost ranges, highway construction in northern Ontario can vary from $2 to $5 million per kilometre, depending on the terrain, materials, and environmental mitigation that's needed. So, government programs like Ontario's Northern Highways program, they actually allocate about $583 million every year for northern road expansion and rehabilitation. Leveraging these funds is, really essential. When it comes to community needs, roads have to serve both local Indigenous communities and resource access, like for mining and forestry, while also respecting Treaty 9 obligations. For Phase 1, which is all about upgrading seasonal and winter roads, the idea is to use the existing winter road alignments to establish corridors. You reinforce those with gravel and geotextiles where possible. The cost comes in at about $500,000 to $1 million per kilometre, which is honestly much cheaper than building full all-weather roads. So, in Phase 2, we're looking at upgrading those critical links, like bridges, river crossings, and high-traffic sections, to proper all-weather standards. The focus, really, is on short stretches close to communities and resource sites. And just to give you a sense of the investment, it's about $2 to $3 million per kilometre. Moving on to Phase 3, this is all about cold region engineering solutions. That means using lightweight embankments, geogrid reinforcement, and building elevated causeways, especially in those muskeg areas. Instead of deep excavation, the idea is to build floating roadbeds. Of course, in these sensitive zones, the cost runs around $4 to $5 million per kilometre. And finally, Phase 4 focuses on integration with provincial programs. We'll align with Ontario's Connecting the North Transportation Plan and work to secure co-funding from federal Indigenous infrastructure programs, as well as resource companies. Phase 5 is all about establishing a long-term maintenance strategy. So the idea is to set up community-based road maintenance crews, which really helps keep things sustainable over the long haul. Using modular culverts and prefabricated bridge spans makes it possible to replace sections quickly and efficiently. And, just for reference, the annual maintenance cost typically ranges from about $25,000 to $50,000 per kilometre. Let's take a look at the comparative cost strategy. For winter road upgrades, the cost is roughly $500,000 to $1 million per kilometre. This approach is fast, cheap, and flexible, but it's seasonal and has limited load capacity. Gravel all-weather roads cost about $2 to $3 million per kilometre. They can be used year-round and are scalable, though they do come with a higher upfront cost. Engineered muskeg causeways are even more expensive, at around $4 to $5 million per kilometre, but they're durable and help protect wetlands. Finally, a full paved highway is the most costly option, at $6 to $10 million or more per kilometre. While it offers long-term benefits and high capacity, it can be pretty cost-prohibitive. So the recommended path is to start with winter road upgrades to establish basic corridors. Then, prioritize modular gravel segments near communities and resource hubs, which makes sense for connectivity. Full engineered causeways should be limited to unavoidable muskeg crossings. It's also really important to leverage provincial and federal programs for funding and to build Indigenous partnerships. This staged approach helps balance cost efficiency, environmental protection, and community benefit, while leaving some flexibility for future expansion if traffic demand increases. Would you like me to map out a phased timeline? say over 10 to 20 years, showing when each segment could realistically be built and upgraded so you can actually visualize the road's evolution from seasonal to permanent. Thanks for watching.